following is paid programming.
I heard it on the X. I heard it on the X.
Welcome to Heard It on the X, the show totally dedicated to the Western New York music scene, presented by the Music Exchange in Hamburg. Get ready for a great hour of interviews, music and tips from Western New York's leading musicians, with many other very special guests from around the country. And now, here's your host, Rich Rogan-Moser.
Hi, folks. Welcome down to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show. My name is Rich Rogan-Moser. As always, my sidekick, the doctor, with me.
Hello, and I'm a little perturbed today. I got a beef right now.
Uh-oh. What's up?
2 weeks ago, you were ill, and everyone around here is catering to Rich because Rich doesn't feel well because his back hurts and he's got a headache. I'm under the weather. Not one person has catered to me.
You know something? I'll stay away from my water if you're not feeling well, boy.
I don't feel well, and no one cares.
I care. What's wrong with you?
Just, you know.
I got to get on with the show. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
I want to welcome everybody down. Today's going to be a great show. We got, it's kind of a guitarist show. We have Tommy Z, local Buffalo legend, who's going to be joining us very shortly. And Michelangelo Badio is going to be joining us later, voted #1 shredder of all time.
Yeah, he can shred. He's got a lot of accomplishments like that.
I actually know for a fact that Tommy Z can too, and we're going to talk to Tommy about that in just a little bit. I would like to start the show on a bit of a somber note, and I'd like to offer our condolences to the Stewart family. Harry Stewart has passed away, and we definitely offer our prayers and thoughts are with you, and we hope that you can get through this trying time okay. Buffalo music legend and other Buffalo music legends. So you just got back in town.
I did just earlier today, literally a couple hours ago, got back from Charlottesville, Virginia, where I went down to see the final 2 shows of the Dave Matthews Band tour. They'll not be touring next year, and so it was, a big celebration down there for them. That's their hometown, for them to, say goodbye there.
Yeah, and you kind of went for the weekend. You went to Dave's Winery. You had an invitation to Dave's Winery. You got to hang out there for a little bit.
Friday we went to... Thursday, we went to see thier, which is Tim Reynolds' band, who plays in Dave Matthews Band, and then who's a great guitar player himself. And then Friday, went to Dave's Winery, spent the day there, a lot of cool stuff. The whole, city is, it's like, for a DMB fan, it's, like the mecca.
It's the Dave city.
Yeah, because there's the bar where they met and used to play, and, there's songs about, certain places around the city. And then Saturday, last night, the final show was just completely off the wall. Played for over 3.5 hours, guests galore.
Oh, really? So it was just a great show.
Yeah, it was just probably the best show I've ever seen by them.
And now we get to see if this guy who's been touring straight for 20 years is really going to take a year off.
He's not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He got, at the end, before the encore, he came out. He was talking throughout the show about, how the past 20 years, thanking the crew, thanking everyone, his family for putting up with him, never being home. And, he was getting choked up at the end. And he said, he's like, I promise you. He's like, we'll be back, I promise.
Yeah.
And I can't see him taking a year off. They'll do something in some
What was
regard.
the stat you get? In 20 years, he's only taken 2 months off?
Yeah,
it's the longest period he can go.
Doing like just a one-off gig.
Or an acoustic gig or something like that.
He has to do something at all times. And even then, they closed the show with a song called Last Stop, which is fitting. And the outro to the song goes, for now, goodbye, friends, goodbye. And, he was getting choked up singing it. And then it was really cool. He sang a couple lines from the Bob Marley song, 3 Little Birds. And he was like, everything's going to be all right. Because there were people crying. There were people crying, and they went to, leave after over 3.5 hours, and the crowd wouldn't leave, and they were chanting one more song. They came back and did 2 more songs.
Yeah.
So it was.
So it was a real moving show. That's good.
It was really moving, and I've seen, as I've seen them dozens and dozens of times, and this ranks right up there. It was just a very special show.
I think that he is the last of a dying breed, too. The last of a very important breed, and somebody that reaches masses. I don't know of another artist that does, at least that's come along since him, that's going to have the longevity that he has. So really, I think that he is, the last of, the last one.
I took your stepson,
my stepson.
He's
mine.
Yeah, he's yours. You might want to, you don't always admit it, but yeah, I took your son, Wu Hang, down with me, and he's young, a little bit younger than me, but we were within, just the first couple rows. Right next to us, there is a woman who, had to be in her 60s, and then, there were younger kids, and it's the range of the age that goes to see them and that are actual, huge fans, and, there's people, crying because they don't know what was going to happen to the band after this year, but, he came out and he said, I promise this isn't it.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing, and like I say, to be able to move and touch that many people consistently for 20 years, that's that's good, and I'm glad you got to see it. We'll talk more about that in music news.